as much, if not more, power than most of the organizations.
So they don't have a public audit, or they don't have any audit whatsoever? Because I know that a lot of organizations may do their own internal auditing. So,
right. Well, they could. I guess they could do their own internal auditing. I think what Congressman Paul and others are calling for is, let's open the books. Let's look at it. Let's see where this money is going. Let's see what they're spending it on. Let's see. Some of these inflationary policies that they've been promoting, printing all the money that they're printing. Let's see, where this is coming from, and where is all this money going?
I would think that, considering President Obama's approach to transparency and openness in government, and the fact that you've got an awful lot of his party members in Congress willing to support those concepts, and I did see that they included in our I love the line, the porculus bill, it's, a requirement for a whole new agency to do these kinds of things, to put this information out on the web so that people can see that. And do you think that you will have support for an audit of the Federal Reserve in Congress? Do you think that that's something that between the frustration of the American public and the position that President Obama has taken, that you will find multiple sponsors for that, and it'll be actually able to be moved forward?
I think we're going to see more support for it than ever before. I think that it is one of those bills that does, you always hear about bipartisanship in Congress, and I think this is actually one of those bills that we will see some bipartisan support of. I think there is a larger hue and cry. I mean, one of the problems we've had for years is, ask the average American, what's the Fed or what's the Federal Reserve, and they don't know. That no one really knows a lot about it. And as we go into these horrible financial times, we've been in, more and more people are starting to understand that, hey, there's this thing called the Fed, and they're sort of controlling everything we're doing. I think we'll see more support for it in Congress. I think we may see some movement on it. I am not at all convinced that the Obama administration will end up supporting it. I go back to a great speech President-elect Obama gave about how, things are going to change in Washington. No more pork. I will not accept any pork. Pork is done. Earmarks are done. And yet you look at this current stimulus package, and what is it?
It's a bunch of pork.
The porculus package.
The porculus bill. I can't claim that. I think it was Representative Cantor who came up with that one, I believe.
Good for him.
Yeah.
That's something else that I was very pleased to see, of course, was that, every Republican in the House opposed this bill. My only comment would be, where were they in the last few years?
Well, I'm the same thing. Better late getting a spine than not getting one at all. And I also congratulate the 11 Democrats who voted against it as well, because there were 11 Democrats. It wasn't a straight party line vote. So.
Right. Absolutely.
So, John, what is next then? You've got the campaign to have the Federal Reserve audited, and you've got your campaign in support for Ron Paul's bill, which I did look up, by the way, for our listeners. Representative Bob Latta is signed on as a sponsor of the bill. I do not see Marcy Kaptur's name on there.
Oh.
So
well, maybe your listeners can give her a call and urge her to get on that bill.
Yeah, so it's HR 156. You can call her office and ask her if she's going to sign on as a sponsor. So those are the two issues. Do you have any more, or are you going to focus on those for 2009?
Those are the two we're focusing on now. Obviously, we're opposing the stimulus package, and we'll be working very hard over the next few days trying to convince at least a few senators to stand up and vote against it. There's a few other things that we're looking at. We're really focusing right now on the economic issues because, of course, that's of immediate concern to most Americans is what's happening financially, what's happening with the economy. We also will be working to try to cut our over $1 trillion foreign budget, cutting the federal budget, cutting taxes.
Well, let me ask you, John, since you mentioned the federal budget and the federal overseas, I understand that today President Obama signed something that authorized $20 million or so to go to Gaza for humanitarian aid.
Right.
Is that budgeted, or is that money that he just had sitting around?
Oh, that's probably money that if it's not sitting around, they'll make. Maybe they'll just settle print $20 million.
All right.
My answer to that is I don't know if it was already budgeted somewhere, but the president has quite a bit of authority to cut checks.
Well, maybe you can look at that as well. I'd like to do more things within the structure of government to prevent these kinds of things from happening, as opposed to just trying to hope you can get bills and laws passed
right.
after the fact. So, well, John, I wish you good luck. Please keep us informed as you go forward with the congressional pay raises and everything about the Campaign for Liberty. And thanks for joining us today on WSPD.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks. That was John Tate, the president of the Campaign for Liberty. If you want to take action, it's H.R. 156. You can thank Representative Bob Latta for signing on as a sponsor, and you can call Representative Marcy Kaptur and ask her to do so.